Welcome to the Create Your Happy podcast, where the mission is to empower women in their journey of self-discovery. Here we explore how to fully embrace our humanness, find our unique voice, and understand that through unconditional love and conscious relationships, we have the power to change the world. I'm your host, Christy Holt, your one and only happiness hussy, adventure guide, and conscious funpreneur. I'm on a heartfelt mission to change the world one beautiful soul at a time. Are you ready to elevate your relationships to the next level? I've got you. It's time for a messy fucking beautiful adventure. It's time to create your happy. Happiness hussy coming in hot again this week with 20 green flags to guide you as you create the healthy, loving relationships that make you truly fucking happy. Now, there's a lot of talk about relationship red flags these days, and I could give you a list of those from basically here till Sunday. But since so many of us have really good clarity about what we don't want, but still lack the clarity of what we do want, I thought I'd do a full episode to help you to make this very important shift. First, a small personal story. Now, back when I was in my previous marriage, I was seeing a therapist, and at one point in our sessions together, she encouraged me to create a list of what I thought that an ideal relationship looked like, much like I had you do last week. Now, what I didn't share with you last week was absolutely how fucking hard this was for me. Now, when I was in that situation, I knew so clearly what I did not want, but I was having a hell of a time figuring out what it is that I did want. I could tell her all of the things that I was aggrieved by, but I couldn't quite make the switch to the flip side, the positive things, and the things that I actually wanted to create in an ideal relationship. Now, looking back upon that time, there were a few factors for me that I know were part of my holdup. One of them was definitely self-worth and believing that I actually deserved to have all of those things. And the second biggest thing that didn't even allow me to contemplate some of those things was that where I was standing, I really truly felt like my partner couldn't give me those other things. I was very clear on what the situation looked like. It was my familiar comfort zone, if you will, which was terribly uncomfortable, as comfort zones often are. But I had expectations based on the past, which really sort of put me into this position where I felt if I said I wanted something different, believing he could not do that thing really put me in a situation where my entire marriage was completely threatened. And at that point in my relationship, that uncertainty around the future of my relationship had me fucking paralyzed with fear. So anyways, long story short, I was very clear on what I did not want. I had some of these barriers, these fears were coming up, this lack of worthiness, and I was having a really hard time figuring out what I actually did want. Luckily, my therapist really helped me. We worked through it. She was able to guide me and to flip around some of those things and really create a clear definition of what it was that I was seeking. I'm actually going to be sharing a little bit more next week about my current relationship and how I moved from the relationship that I was in previously to this one, and a lot of the wisdom that helped me to create this incredible relationship, and a little bit more about my personal story. So stay tuned for next week. We will be diving into that a little bit deeper. Now, last week, we really talked about redefining relationship success and how it's so important to know with clarity what we do want. So to really help you to create your ideal list, in case it was perhaps a struggle for you as it was for me, so that you can redefine what it is that you desire in your ideal relationship, today we'll be exploring 20 green flags for healthy relationships. You know, those positive signs that indicate a healthy and thriving relationship that is actually positioned to stand the test of time. These are the qualities that contribute to a fulfilling and joyful connection. Now, you know, this list that I ended up creating with my therapist is still in my phone notes. And as I left the marriage and began the process of dating, which I actually wasn't looking for a partner. More on that next time. But this list really helped me to identify what was and wasn't for me, which truly made the dating process that much easier. If it wasn't in alignment with this list, it was simply a no. It didn't make anybody, right or wrong or good or bad or any of these things. It just meant it wasn't a fit. And so it was easy for me to identify that and to move along until I found something that did fit. Again, more on my story next time, but the gist of the list was that I put that out there. I set the intention of creating a relationship that fulfilled all of those desires, and I left it. And honestly, at the end of the day, the universe provided right when I wasn't looking. And the truth is, I think that we often do find the best things when we're not looking for them, when we don't have that attachment or strong, desperate desire for it. A topic for another day. Now, this list of green flags may not be an exhaustive list by any means, but they will get you off to a pretty fucking good start. So here we go, 20 green flags for healthy, loving relationships. Number 1, positive influence and self-care support. Okay, this means that your partner inspires your personal growth and supports your self-care routines, emphasizing your physical and mental well-being. If your partner is not aiding you in these things, and if worse, they are preventing you from taking good care of yourself, this could be a problem. So looking for a partner who truly supports you and encourages you in your independence, in your self-care, in your taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Green flag number 2, shared responsibility and partnership. Now, this means that you both share responsibilities and contribute equally to decision making. This fosters equality and a strong sense of partnership. I don't think I need to tell you what happens if you're not on the same team and working against each other, or really having an imbalance as far as contribution goes. I talked earlier in the season about the 50-50. So if you are wanting to dive deeper into that conversation, I invite you to check out that episode and really dive into what an equally contributed relationship looks like. Green flag number 3, acceptance and forgiveness. Now, mutual acceptance of each other just as you are is a crucial foundation for a healthy, loving relationship. Okay, couple this with the understanding of the importance of forgiveness and moving forward without grudges, as well as not making assumptions and really truly just giving your partner and yourself grace for when you make mistakes is going to go a very, very long way in your relationship. Green flag number 4, humor and joy. Now, sharing a similar sense of humor, finding laughter and silliness, being able to be weird and experience joy in each other's company, especially during challenging times, is what is going to really truly help you to navigate, obstacles and challenges during your life. This makes you grow closer as opposed to creating additional distance. Green flag number 5, financial compatibility and future planning. You want to be able to have open discussions, both about your finances and planning for future goals. It's necessary to have these difficult conversations, and they shouldn't actually be that difficult. But I know that finances can be a really sticky subject for some people. They become much easier when you're actually on the same team working towards the same common outcomes. This ensures alignment in your financial matters and in your long-term aspirations. Green flag number 6, flexibility and adaptability. Now, this basically just means that both partners are open to change and adaptable. It means that they understand that life circumstances can and absolutely fucking will shift, and that we are better off if we allow ourselves to grow and evolve with them. Green flag number 7, intimacy, affection, and trust. And I know I'm putting a lot into one here, but a healthy level of physical intimacy and affection underpinned by a strong foundation of trust and transparency really has a massive impact on your actions and your decisions, cultivating that relationship that truly feels deeply connected. Green flag number 8, appreciation and empathy. Regularly expressing gratitude and appreciation for your partner, combined with empathy and understanding, towards one another's experiences, because they're not always going to be the same, is going to create that deeper connection. It allows you to express and receive unconditional love and acceptance when we really approach one another in this way. Green flag number 9. Touched on this a little bit earlier, but independence and interdependence. Now, supporting each other's individual goals and intentions while also enjoying shared activities, intentions, and goals helps you to balance personal growth and shared goals. We did talk about this a little bit in last week's episode as well. It's just so important that we remember that we are both an individual and a partnership at the same time, and making space for and holding all of that duality can really help us shift into healthier, more loving relationships. Green flag number 10, quality time and active listening. Now, this might look different for one person to another, but prioritizing quality time together, whatever that looks like, and making space to actively listen to each other. And I mean really truly hearing each other, validating one another's feelings, showing a genuine interest in the other's thoughts and experiences will really make a difference as far as the ability to connect, the ability to share, the ability to open up, and the ability to feel like you're part of a partnership. Now, before we dive into the next 10 green flags, a very quick word about my incredible program, Love Reimagined. Are you feeling stuck in your relationship? What if I told you the key to a happier, more fulfilling relationship starts not with them, but with you? Introducing Love Reimagined, a transformative mini course designed to revitalize your relationships from the inside out. Unlock practical tools that empower you to make meaningful changes from within. Ready to reimagine love? Join me now and take the first step toward relationship bliss. All right, my friends, we are back for the second group of 10 green flags for healthy relationships. We're coming in hot here with number 11. And this one is about conflict resolution and respectful communication. Now, constructively handling disagreements with compromises and solutions to create win-win results, and communicating respectfully, even during difficult conversations or outright conflicts, is going to make a huge difference in how you feel inside of your relationship. Now, no relationships are going to be without disagreement, but you can disagree without being disagreeable, intolerant, or unkind. Relationship green flag number 12, encouragement and shared values. Encouraging personal and professional growth, celebrating one another's achievements, and sharing core values that form the relationship's foundation can really help you to connect on a deeper level and build a meaningful relationship that works. Relationship green flag number 13, giving without expectation and emotional openness. Now, these things kind of go hand in hand in a way that you might not totally expect, but freely giving within your relationship without holding the expectations of something in return, coupled with this emotional openness and safety for honest expression, really creates an environment where you are able to give without expectation and know that you will receive back what you need. It might not be exactly what you expect, but it will be likely what you need. And it also creates this cycle of giving and receiving that allows us to get back what we're giving magnified. It also allows us to really dive into something that feels really safe and release our expectation, because expectation and clinging and resistance all kind of come together in this sort of needy vibe, which actually keeps us stuck in our suffering and our disappointment. So if we can start to give more freely, unconditionally, without that expectation, we actually free ourselves from a whole lot of unnecessary suffering. Green flag number 14, healthy boundaries and mutual respect. Now, I did a full episode on boundaries, but I just want to remind you all here how very crucial this is. And if boundaries and respect are an issue in your life, I invite you absolutely to tune into that full episode because it is full of nuggets and useful tips for you to really dive into how to respect and communicate boundaries and needs, and how to really start showing that respect for yourself first, and then allowing that respect to permeate your relationship. Allowing respect for differing opinions and individuality allows that unconditional acceptance that we truly desire and we absolutely deserve. Green flag number 15, support in challenges. Now, offering unwavering support during challenging times and consistently putting in the effort to maintain and enhance the relationship is going to make a huge difference. In fact, setting the intention to be supportive even when you may not agree is going to absolutely create the relationship that allows for safety, passion, and deep connection all at once. Green flag 16, shared interest and an openness to learning. Now, enjoying commonly shared interests and activities is great, and also showing a willingness to learn from one another and grow together and to try and explore new things is going to help you to both continue to grow and evolve. And ideally, in some ways, you will continue to do some of that growing and evolving together. And yes, of course, you will maintain your individuality and explore those things that you're most passionate about on your own as well. But sometimes it's just really nice to have areas where you are committed to trying new things together. Green flag number 17, emotional availability and a supportive environment. So being emotionally available and creating a supportive environment for sharing those innermost thoughts and feelings has been sort of a common theme through many of these green flags, but it warranted being mentioned on its own. Being emotionally available means a certain level of emotional intelligence. It includes an ability to understand where your emotions end and where others' emotions begin so that you can engage with other people without taking on their emotions as your own. So this emotional intelligence, which you foster within, can actually strengthen the relationship by creating a safe and supportive environment whereby each partner feels truly safe to share even those innermost thoughts and feelings that they may otherwise not have been feeling safe to share. Green flag number 18, problem solving. Okay, again, this comes back to having respectful disagreements, having respect when we have differing opinions, and handling these disagreements, again, with a win-win solution in mind. So without resorting to any sort of manipulative tactics or silent treatment, we're able to come together, openly communicate, and problem solve together in a way that results in win-win. And I do believe there is always a win-win option available if we are willing to ask the questions and be a little bit flexible and open. Green flag number 19, celebration of achievements and aspirations. Truly, celebrating and supporting one another's achievements and aspirations fosters a culture of encouragement and growth. And there is nothing better than having your partner be one of your biggest cheerleaders, because there is just going to be days where you don't feel it for yourself. And sometimes that little bit of extra cheerleading from someone who believes in you can help you get out of those funks that much faster. The last green flag, number 20, is a balance between independence and emotional connection. And I know that you'll have seen there are a lot of these pieces that are interwoven and they're not independent because relationships are not linear. They are not a list of things necessarily that are independent. There is interconnection and interdependence between all of the interworkings of a relationship. So balancing your independence with a strong emotional connection supports your individual goals while maintaining that nurturing relationship and the ability to grow together in an emotional, deep way, which allows you to have those innermost needs of being seen, heard, loved, accepted, validated to actually come to fruition. Now, you'll note that not one of these had to do with any sort of physical characteristics. They didn't really actually have to do much at all with any of the external circumstances that you might be facing, but rather all of these green flags are focused on the internal experiences that you're having, the feelings that you're having. And the key to creating happy and healthy relationships that will stand the test of time is to determine how you desire to feel in your relationship, and then taking aligned action every single damn day, right? To ensure that you are creating those feeling experiences. And no, things won't be perfect. Yes, there will be days where you or your partner are going to fall short of this ideal, but when you set the intention and relentlessly pursue that intention with grace and compassion, both for yourself and your partner, you will create the relationships that you desire and deserve. Now, let's shift gears just a little bit here, because as your adventure guide, I want to introduce you to a fun and insightful exercise that I call the Green Flag Adventure Hunt. Now, this is a practical way to not only recognize the positive aspects of your current or future relationships that you desire, but also to begin to more fully appreciate the healthy dynamics that are already in existence around you. Here's how you can do this. First off, you'll need a notebook. You can also use your notes in your phone or a voice memo, whatever works for you. I mean, hey Siri it, whatever you need to do. You're going to set aside a week where your goal is to observe and note any green flags in your daily interactions. Now, not to worry, if you're not currently in a relationship, this is still going to work for you. What you're going to do is simply observe the relationships around you, family, friends, and even characters in movies or in books or your coworkers, okay? So this does not have to be your own personal experience. What you're going to look for is acts of kindness, effective communication, supportive gestures, or any sort of positive relationship dynamics. These could be very small things like making your partner a cup of coffee without asking, or a friend checking in on you. It could even be observing a couple resolving a disagreement respectfully. And each time that you notice this sort of green flag, simply jot it down. If you'd like, you can expand on this and write down a little bit more about the context and why you think it's a positive trait or action. At the end of the week, I invite you to take a few minutes to go through your notes. Reflect back on what these green flags actually mean to you and how they contribute to a healthy and happy relationship. How many of them, you might wonder, are you actually currently experiencing? And ultimately, by experiencing, I mean creating for yourself, right? This exercise is not just about recognizing the good in others, it's also about understanding what truly matters to you in a relationship. It helps in building a mindset that appreciates and values the positive relationship dynamics and sets a foundation for your own relationship goals and expectations. Now, I would absolutely love to hear about your green flag adventure hunt experiences. So please reach out, share your stories or insights with me. You can drop a comment, you can send a message, or you can post on any of my social media platforms. I would absolutely love to know. And then let's celebrate the positive together, learning from each other's experiences. Remember, the more we focus on these green flags, the more we actually invite them into our own lives. And as an extra bonus here, you might want to go back and edit your list from last week so that you can incorporate more of these new ideals that you may have discovered at the end of this week. Next week, as I mentioned, I'm going to be sharing more from my own story about how chasing shadows turned into finding love, and I'll be sharing some of my most significant personal lessons in life and love. So I hope you're going to join me because this one is going to be a juicy one. Now remember, incredible human, that life is one messy fucking beautiful adventure, and so is love. You are beyond deserving of those healthy, loving relationships that truly make you fucking happy. And I am so grateful to be able to be here guiding you on this journey. I love you. Let's go do some epic shit, shall we? Thank you so much for listening to today's show. I trust you were inspired to take back your power and create your happy. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with the women in your life who could use a little more inspiration today. If you'd like to connect or explore the additional resources mentioned in this episode, you can find those details and links in the show notes below. As always, get out there, have fun, be you, and create your happy.